Hey up YouTube, real quick intro because time is against us.
Hello!
Marcus is here. There you go, you can just see his arm. Hopefully today,
Hi.
There you go. Hopefully today is going to be the last part of the shed. I'm saying last part because I've got no idea how many parts I currently have recorded. So, as you can see, he's ripping it down.
Yeah, it's got me doing all the manual work.
Shut up, I'll join you in a minute. I forgot the camera, so I've had to fly down home. So we're going to rip it down, re-level the base, and hopefully get all of the new one up. There's going to be a lot of time lapsing because we are short on time. It has to be done, hopefully, obviously before the daylight goes, and Marcus doesn't want to be here all day, so you know. I'm going to fly through this as quickly as possible. I'll show you stuff as I believe it needs to be shown. If not, it's going to be time lapsed, and if you've got any questions, send me a message.
Yeah, when you're coming to do mine.
I've done yours. We just need to sort your roof out, don't we?
Yeah.
I'll see you in a bit. This is taking longer than we hoped. Largely my fault. All my fault. We're not erecting yet. We're still digging. I don't know when the time lapse cut out, but we've been at this for 2 hours now. Obviously that includes taking down the old shed. So in actual fact, we're not doing bad, are we?
No.
But I don't know when the time lapse cut out, so I just wanted to sort of talk about briefly about a base. So I'm going to flip you around and you'll probably get a few views of Max's crack. So
Right.
sorry about
As
that.
you can see, we're using slabs. There's different options. I mean, if you want to do it hard and fast, then you can always just throw pallets down. Last year I did use the plastic shed base grid stuff, which is good, but I did see a marked difference with damp and a lot of shifting. And then sort of when you read about that stuff, it does say, you know, put it down, dig 2 inches down, put an inch of stone down, then put your membrane down, and then put your plastic thing on top of that. Well, if you're just going on top of gravel, which a lot of people on allotments do, then why bother with the plastic grating? I had access to just enough slabs for a 6x8. That's why my rebuilt has remained to the same dimensions as the old shed. So we've got 8 foot that way, 6 foot across the back. This is worth, as Marcus keeps reminding me, spending time on.
Yeah.
Because this is essentially, you know, if this starts to slip and move like essentially what happened with my old shed, then, you know, you've got to do what I'm doing now, which is rushing to put up a new one. So it's worth spending the time on a nice base, because as whoever that lass is that was swinging about arses, it's all about the base.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, it's like my one. My one, I've got breeze blocks all the way around my foundations.
You have, haven't you? Yeah. And what did you fill them with?
I'll post pictures of mine. I've got videos and pictures of
Yeah,
mine.
if you send me some, I'll edit them in as
You can see,
as
I had to dig
options.
down and dig a trench, lay them in, level them all out, then put the base on top.
So, yeah, that's as far as we've got so far. I've moved the action camera up the back because once the base is down, obviously it's going to be a case of sticking on the 2 posts, and then the front's going to go on. If the camera was in the other position, you're not going to see a goddamn thing. So, once the base is down, fingers crossed, it's going to throw up quite quickly. Fingers crossed.
Stop being so negative.
I'm a Yorkshireman, it's what I do. So I'm going to put the kettle on, we're going to have a brew. Max is a grafter, so he's going to keep going. I'm going to turn this off before I get any closer to the radio, otherwise I'm going to get done for copywriting. So I'll see you in a bit.
Hi up YouTube, quick update, base done. Obviously what we've done, we've got all the flags down, we've brushed some sort of ballast into all the cracks to level, to sort of fill the holes a little bit, it makes it a little bit sturdier. So now it's actually time for construction to start. Finally, so.
See, 20 minutes, told him.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was 21 and a half.
Oh.
Right, I'll see you in a bit, guys. We're going to start construction now, so time lapse back on, which has already fallen off. And away we go. it.
Cool.
Right, hey up YouTube. Once again, I let the time-lapse battery run out, so I'm just going to run you through what I've been doing, because I don't know what it will have caught. Max is trying to kill my chickens. He wants some dinner. So,
Bargain bucket.
we've cut the door out. Still can't do all this pointing stuff. It's all in reverse. So we've cut the door out. Max been busy putting the frames on. So what we've got is you've seen me do the front. The front has been made. I'm trying to get it all in shot. It's that because it's so big. And then we've got up the back here, 8 foot, give or take. We've had to go sort of on the fly for the measurements a little bit, because it's the curse of using recycled wood. I've already said that. Then inside at waist height, we've got this, which will enable me to put benches on. There's going to be another skin on the inside. And that's running all the way around. And you see we've got plywood sheets. These are going to be lapped, so the next one's going to overlap hopefully by a little bit. The bit that we really need to get done before Marcus goes is the roof, and ideally the 2 sides, because I need his rip saw, because this board up here runs at around about a 15-degree angle.
Using a fuse.
I think it, yeah, well, yeah. You should be used to that with all your lady friends. Or are you a one-woman man now?
I'm still single, what about?
I thought, hang on, that's not what happened there.
Don't ask.
I'm going to ask once his camera's off.
Yeah, you do that.
Right. So,
come on away.
all right, oh dear me. Yeah, we're running out of time, so me doing this is actually me being in the way. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, 8 foot up the back, 6 foot across. Gives us about, mathematicians are going to tell me I'm way off. It's somewhere between 7.5 and 12 foot, 12-degree incline on the roof. The incline is coming to the front because I'm running the guttering on the front. I know it's not the best idea, but I wanted the highest bit of the roof to the rear of the shed for the solar panels for the sun, so that it's going to angle them into the sun. And me what?
And your water back, your ABC, you can collect it down the road.
Yes, but ideally you would have had the guttering across the back, not across your door, but you know, ideally you'd have had the high bit at the front and the low at the back. Ideally.
Mine's the other way around, mine's...
Yeah, well mine is, but mine's so that I can catch the sun on the solar panels.
That's true, yeah.
Right, so I'm going to shut this camera off and crack back on. In fact, I'm not really, I'm going to make a cup of coffee. But he doesn't know that. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Action camera's back on, so we should be back getting la la la, radio, la la la. We should be back getting action cam, time-lapse footage now, so I'll see you in a bit.
up, YouTube? Right, first of all, I owe you a lot of an apology. Unfortunately, weather, darkness, you know, this time of year and all that, has been against us on the shed build. Apologies for the echo, but you'll see why in a moment. Let me see if I can help this out a little bit. My thing's probably going to start screaming at me in a minute. Knock that back off, so it's not made any difference. Yeah, I've kind of had to do things and not film them, but I'm still at a point where I'm at a bare bones structure on the inside, and I'm halfway through a few jobs on the outside. So there's certainly some things I can run you through now, and it'll still, you know, it'll still be quite a comprehensive sort of how I built a shed. So I'll flip you around. Apologies, it's just all you're going to see is a load of wood, but I'm going to try and describe things as best I can, and sort of why things are how they are, and you know, little bits and pieces like that, and then and sort of what's coming up. I mean, the structure itself is done, and it is watertight, which is all sort of mine and Max's aim was. Now I'm just sort of beautifying things, putting shelves in, battening off the outside, getting it all ready for painting. This OSB that I've used, I have already had some comments, both from Tom, who's very, very helpful, and from sort of Facebook and YouTube, saying that you shouldn't really use OSB. I appreciate you shouldn't really use OSB, it's not really designed. This is Smart Ply Security FR. I think I told Tom it was something else, but I've since sort of looked up the code on the that's printed on it, and it's the FR. So it is rated for outside use. Essentially, what this Smart Ply was, or this OSB was designed to do, was to board up buildings and make them secure from the outside. So it should hold up through winter. And then what I'm going to do is put some Cuprinol paint on it, you know, the outdoor paint. I'm going to paint it with that sort of next summer, as many coats as I can afford to stick on, really. So votes for colours. This last part is going to be a long part, although you're probably seeing this halfway through the video and going, oh crap, it's a long video. It was always going to be, you know, the main erection was always going to be a big part. Mike's going to love that. So I'm going to spin you around. I'm not going to go over dimensions so much. We've spoken about them quite a lot. I'm going to go over what's here, really. So I'll see you in a bit. And when I said a bit, I mean right now. Like I said, unfortunately, I mean, you're not even zoomed in. So getting this stuff on camera is not an easy task. Right, we'll try and start with this left hand, with this wall here, because there's nothing on it. So all you can see on the inside, you've got your lapped OSB, a central support beam, which I've done to my waist height instead of the ply height. And you'll see, some of you'll notice that the ply actually runs downhill slightly. That's just because it's recycled wood. Nothing was straight, so we've had to sort of abandon measurements and go off sort of spirit levels and things like that to make things nice and level. So like from this beam across the wall here, that is, and here's where I get shown up, nice and level. This beam, if I can get a point where there's no nails sticking out of it, Marcus said was nice and level, but no, it's not. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not putting a shelf on this wall. This one, however, does need to be nice and level, and it is. Because this back wall here, the one that we was looking at first, there's nothing going on here. This is going to be a hanging, you know, tools and things like that. Then there's going to be a shelf. This is why it's done to my waist height, not to the height of the ply. Going across here, and then across this wall as well. So I'm just going to have the L shelf the L bench, and then the reason why we've gone so high, I mean I'm 6'2", and I don't know how much you can see here. I'm 6'2", and you can see, I mean, I can't even touch the roof. Oh well, sorry, no, I can just touch the roof. It's stood in the middle, and it gets taller towards the back. The whole point behind all of that was to be able to put shelving in on the walls, which leads me to the next point. So as we come over here to the wall I've been working on, you'll see I'm putting some battening in around the bottom. I hadn't originally planned to do that, but turns out that was an oversight on my part. You do want to put battening in along the bottom, because of course, if not, I don't know if it'll show up on camera. See if that one will, you know, you've got a gap. You've nothing really to fix your OSB to, or your, you know, your outer wall to. So we'll screw them down, nice big screws, straight down through the base, and then I'll screw the ply. So down through that piece of wood there, through there with some shorter screws. And then also I've cut pieces which is going to be an inside skin. So this is why we've got, they're not fastened in yet, still waiting on my battery charging. We've got a vertical here, and then a vertical here going up to the roof, and then a vertical here going up to the roof. What this should enable me to do is I'll be able to have my bench here at the height that I want it, so I'll be mounting some battening to here and fixing a bench coming off. I'll be mounting some battening to here, and then I'll be putting a bench coming off. This is after I've put the ply over the front of it. I'm losing a bit of space, but I'm not overly worried. And then obviously bench coming out, I'll have some legs on it, as few as possible, because I want access underneath it. And then these guys, what these will enable me to do once they're fully mounted, once they're fully fixed in, is I'm going to be able to run a shelf across here, and also it gives me something to fix that onto, to pull it in a bit. All I'm using in my corners, it's a bit of a messy job, but it's nice and it is cheap. See if I can find you an empty tube or a tube. Where's that? All I'm using, it's £1.90 from Tool Station. It's just this stuff, and the reason I've gone with this stuff is it's not bathroom silicone. It doesn't stink, but the reason I've gone with it, I don't think it's set yet, no it hasn't, is it's got a 25% flex in it. So you know, as it shifts and moves and swells and shrinks, we should, touch wood, it should remain intact. You see, I've rudimentarily, can't say that for some reason today, installed my solar stuff. It's purely and simply, oh thank God my battery's charged. It's purely and simply to charge my batteries and things like that. I'm now going to switch everything off and let the batteries get a charge back in them. So I'll do that now. Pop. Let the batteries get a nice bit of recovery. It also means I can have the lights on. That's better. So yeah, these are going to get screwed in. I'm putting them in just with these little brackets here. So I'll be like, you know, like that. And then that's pretty much it on the inside really. Then there's another skin going on over the top, like I've already said. I've already cut one. I need to move my inverter, but that's not a problem. So we'll have a quick look on the outside. Nothing really has changed out here from when you saw us doing the construction. So we've got just plastic on the roof. This is only the first skin of roof. There is going to be another layer of roof going on top of that for purposes of securing the panels and making them not stealable. Because what essentially you're going to have to do to steal my solar panels is take the entire roof off. That's my bonfire for this evening. Tonight is bonfire night. But what I'm doing to tidy the sides up, as you'll see momentarily, is, so if I start, this is the first corner that I sort of did it as a bit of a trial run. I've put
some 4-inch planks on the corner, so that makes it look nice, gives it a bit of extra support. And then where the plastic was overhung, I've put some battening all the way down and then trimmed the plastic to underneath the battening. I'm going to do that once again all the way around. Like I said, all this OSB next summer's going to be painted. You see, I've managed to put a fancy schmancy lock in. I'm purposely not putting any door handles or anything here you can use to rip off or put leverage on. I've got a double skin door with 10mm ply. It's got reinforcements inside it. There's going to be reinforcements going in here, sort of verticals, to make it so that you can't really kick through, or if you can only make a tiny hole. And the main reason I'm doing all this, really, for you guys out there in YouTube land, and the main reason I've got the solar panel in the shed and I've taken this shed off grid, some nails there. The reason I'm doing all this, is purely and simply because in here is going to be my LED grow lights for my chilies that I plant around Christmas time. Trying to make it a bit of a ritual where I plant them on Boxing Day. So in here is going to be my LED lights. It's going to look, for all intents and purposes, dodgy as hell. I'm not going to beat around the bush. They are multicoloured LED lights. They are grow lights. They're for my chilies, my early tomatoes, my what is it, Charlotte planted, the onions, things like that, and they're going to be on the long bench that's going to be along this wall here. So obviously, you know, the reason I'm buttoning it up as much as possible, sealing it up as much as possible, is to prevent light leak and prevent people being tempted. I mean, at the end of the day, if the police smash it in, I don't care less, they have to replace it. But, you know, if yobbos smash it in looking for what they suspect is some illegal substance, what's currently illegal, I don't believe it's going to be for much longer. My personal opinion, I don't use it, but I just think that's the way it's going. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I don't want some yobbos smashing it in just to find that there's nothing in here that they want. So, you know, the more light leak I can prevent, the better. So, I'm going to get back, in fact, I'm not going to get back to building, I'm going to go and get some lunch because it's 99p Big Mac day. So, I'm going to go get some lunch. And then I'm going to set up the time lapse for the bit I'm doing inside. I don't know how much of a good angle you're going to get, but I'll do my best. So you should be able to see me at least fixing things on, and we'll go from there. And then tonight is bonfire night. I get to make fire and get rid of a load of waste. So I'll probably record a bit of that for you. Just tag it on at the end. So I'll see you in a bit after I've had my Big Mac, because I'm starving. Hey up YouTube. It's been a long day, as you can see by the state of the fire. It's 8 o'clock at night ish, I think. Might be a bit later. I'm going to quickly have a look inside the shed. I didn't record much today. I'll run you through it next time I've got some daylight, but I'm just going to nip you inside before I go home, just to show you where I'm up to. Oh. So, you see, I've got the lights, I've got a bench, I've got the important thing. Oh, I've zoomed in. Got the important thing. Got the bench with the kettle on it. You know, most important thing. I've got my electricity rudimentarily wired in, as I've already said, tried to say once before. You know, the wires are all a mess, but I'll sort them out later. Bench, which is just supported by one leg. Oh, I'll try and get a shot underneath. I don't know if you're going to be able to see much. Let's have to turn the light on. It's a bit better. Where you can see battening all across the back, and it's all just screwed in to this 10mm ply. I got the bottom half of the skin on because I couldn't do that obviously before I put the after I put the bench on. I've got half the skin on this side. So yeah, you're starting to see the sort of size of the thing. Actually, try and do it that way. So that's a 6 foot ladder. In fact, no, yeah, it will be a 6 foot ladder. So, you know, and that's the roof. So, it's not a small one, it's watertight. It's finally a shed that's tall enough for me to stand up in. I finally got my bench. Fingers crossed I'm at work tomorrow. They've promised me I will be. But I've heard that all before. Yeah, the ply's not perfect. It's not exactly where I want it. You know, there's a couple of gaps. But, you know what? It's brilliant. It really is, and I'm well chuffed. Just goes to show anybody with some time and some patience can do this. Without Marcus, I probably couldn't have done it. It's not something I would have done on my own. The biggest hurdle was just getting stuff up and in place, such as the roof, which, as Marcus can testify to, is strong enough to hold me and him. Not together, I wouldn't risk that, but certainly individually. So yeah, I'm well chuffed. So guys, I'm going to call that the end of the shed series. The next sort of bits and pieces you're going to see, there is more installation to do. There is more, you know, wiring to do, things like that. But the wiring's going to go under the solar panel project. My lights and things like that are all going to go under my January grow project, which of course is all my chilies and things that go in January. But I'll be starting, hopefully setting up my lights at the weekend for my onions and things which need to come down here. So yeah, happy bonfire night. I don't even know if that's a thing. It's been a long day and I'm tired, and I think I've singed all my hair, so I'm probably, and some of my beard. Anyway, I'll see you later.